Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I coach people and organizations to play bigger. And this is a conversation I had with a recruiting exec this week. And I want to be clear, this was not a junior recruiter working in a remote office in a town we've never heard of. This was someone who ran recruiting nationally for a substantial firm. Now, she was introduced to me not because I wasn't calling her up. Hi, I want to work on your jobs. Give me some jobs. It wasn't one of those conversations. I was introduced to her by a peer who I'd worked with successfully for many years, and we chatted. And she said, "Why don't you help our firm? I don't run the role. I'll introduce you to the person who does." And so she's got a good introduction to me from someone that ostensibly she respects. So we finally connect. We were supposed to speak on one occasion, and she didn't communicate what time to call her. So, I was my not persistent but polite self, responded back and said, "Hey, you never gave me a time to reach out to you on this particular day. When can we actually talk?" So we set up a time. There was slippage on the time. That was okay. She reset it for about 2 hours later than we were originally supposed to talk. Fine. The issue isn't about time. People are busy and stuff comes up. But here's how the evaluation from her standpoint occurred. These are the questions that were asked. Now, I want to start by saying my bias is against giving pat answers. I want to give honest answers. So I'm asked, what do I specialize in? And I say, I do technology recruiting nationally. Now, I understand your practice is focused, it's a consulting organization, on New York financial services. And I've worked in that market for about 40 years filling positions. So of my 1,200 plus jobs filled on the full-time side, about 75% of them would fall into that category, with the remaining being strays all over the country. So I think I've answered the question honestly about how long, my background in filling positions in New York financial services. And then we progress to, okay, within that, what do you specialize in? I don't specialize, my answer is. You tell me what you need, what you've done to fill it up until this point, and I'll go fill it. This is a very straightforward answer. But I think what she wants me to say is, I specialize in finding fixed people, or she wants the real specific. I'm a recruiter. I've done search now for a long time. And this is the reality. I adapt. If I specialize in one market based upon work that I did in 1972, I'm long out of business. I'm adaptable to what my clients need. And I explained to her without talking about that 1972 example. And then she asked me another bizarre question. How long will it take you to fill my jobs? I said, I can't answer that question. I can start delivering resumes to you next week, depending upon the nature of the search, but I have no control over what your hiring managers do. Often they're the wild card in terms of filling positions. And folks, isn't that true? Come on, give me a break. Isn't it true that often your hiring managers are the problem because they've got complicated schedules, and then I'm held to account for their behavior? I give a very honest answer to this without being, again, I'm not going through the details of this. I just politely say, I can't answer the question. I can start delivering quality people, and I'm going to learn pretty quickly what your hiring managers want. But I don't control their schedules, and often that's the wild card, particularly in consulting, when they suddenly have to fly out to meet with a client, and suddenly I'm having slippage, and I'm working on a contingency basis to boot. You're not buying my time. So, I give a very straightforward answer. Now, the point to all of this, gang, is that you got to come up with better questions. Seriously, you've got to come up with better questions to evaluate a recruiter, or look at the answers through different lenses. Now, what I illustrated in my answers was an understanding of the search process. Seriously, think about it. What I answered, I answered in a way that demonstrates an understanding of the search process, the unique needs of the client, and my willingness to work over the course of time to fill positions. Again, I've done this for 44 years. Come on. It's not like I'm a rookie that you're evaluating. 44 years. That's enough to indicate that I can help a client fill positions. Come up with some better questions to evaluate people, even if it's as simple as, which of my competitors have you helped? Seriously, does that tell you something about a recruiter? And when did you help them is another useful question. If I checked your references, what would I find? And as I pointed out to this woman, I said, you can go into my LinkedIn profile and see what over 700 people have said about me, and a whole bunch of hiring managers. And that's just not simply the check boxes. Those are the actual references that people have put on my LinkedIn page. And they're on my website as well, so you can see what people think of me, which a lot of other recruiters you can't, because I've got my own site. When you work with someone who works for one of the big agencies, that's the corporate site and the corporate BS that they're putting up there, not about a specific recruiter. So recognize the difference when you're talking to someone individually. You want them to prove to you, not with a simple speech, because I'm going to let you in on a secret. Recruiters lie. I know. Shocking, isn't it? Recruiters lie. I remember hearing a recruiter in a coffee shop one day talking about how she looked like Cameron Diaz, when in point of fact, there's a tall brunette sitting there. So they lie. So look at what's publicly available about the person and how they present their ideas. Do they seem like a beginner, or do they talk to you like a peer who's actually going to give you wise counsel that you can choose or not choose to listen to? Are there references that this person has that they can offer you that if you did check them out, you'd find something useful about them? In my case, there are lots of them. They're all over my LinkedIn profile. You want to talk to an exec at a particular firm I've helped before, I'll introduce you. And you already had one, a peer of yours. So come up with some better questions for evaluating recruiters, because otherwise you're going to be getting the same old results in your recruiting selection process or recruiter selection process that you've gotten all along that you're not real happy with. So I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'd love to help you. Reach out to me through my email address. Actually, let's start with you calling me, 646-374-8656, or email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. And if you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, send a connection request. My page there is linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you look like a spammer or scammer, then I won't do it. I hope you found today's show helpful. I wouldn't say it's enjoyable, but think about it. It's helpful to you to start thinking about what you would ask a recruiter that would actually help you assess that person over the phone. And you can always Skype with someone and see what they look like and listen to how cogently they answer questions. Whether someone's whispering in their ear, because Lord knows I've seen that happen before with the junior staffer's manager, whispering, tell them this, tell them that. What are you getting if you hire them? Hopefully you've got someone stronger behind them, but why aren't you dealing with the stronger person? Hope you have a great day. Take care.